Hello there and welcome to another edition of Eye on Port, brought to you by Star Assurance, UT Logistics, the Royal Bank and Ghana Community Network Services, GCNet. Folks, the year 2014 was quite a bad year for a number of businesses, and that's because the Ghanaian cedi was wobbling left, right, center, and some businesses were folding up also because of the doomsaw. Some were laying off their employees, again, left, right, center. But to some businesses within the port and maritime community, it wasn't too a bad scenario. Some of them were thriving regardless of those challenges. And the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has been able to pay some dividends of about 4 million Ghana cedis to the Finance Ministry. The Finance Ministry is patting the GPHA on its back for doing so well, being able to engage in expansion projects again in the port and still paying back to the state. In spite of the massive infrastructure development of the country's ports, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority (GPHA) has demonstrated its commitment to honouring its statutory obligations by paying 4 million Ghana cedis as dividend to the government for the 2014 fiscal year. The year 2014 was said not to be favourable for economic activities in Ghana due to the wobbling nature of Ghana's currency cedi in that year, lack of adequate power supply to support businesses, high interest rates and inflation, and many more. In view of these, in presenting a cheque of 4 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Finance on behalf of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Minister of Transport, Jifa Akuativo, lauded the Port Authority for remaining vibrant even in the face of national economic turbulence. She said not so many state-owned enterprises could even sustain themselves in the year 2014, let alone engage in infrastructural expansions and still pay profit back to the state.
There have been challenges at the port, but the activities or services continue to grow, and Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has embarked on massive infrastructural development, and we hope that subsequent checks will be higher than the one we have today.
Thank you. Keselato Forson, a Deputy Minister of Finance who received the check on behalf of government, said it was gratifying to learn that the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, a state-owned enterprise, is engaging in massive developmental projects on its own credit balance sheet, yet able to return profit to the state.
It's so gratifying to me that in spite of the challenges and bottlenecks that we see a number of SOEs going through, we've been able to at least sail through the challenge, and then today we are meeting here to declare dividends.
He admitted that most SOEs were facing challenges and even struggling to sustain themselves, let alone make profit for the state, but urged them to turn their fortunes around to enable them become profitable and honor their statutory obligations to the state.
We want the SOEs to pay taxes. We want the SOEs to pay their dividends because we have sunk enough investment out there. So we use your good self for good work done, and we believe that others will copy suit and then obviously pay their dividend.
On his part, the Director General of GPHA, Richard Anamu, assured government that the port is doing well despite national economic challenges.
We have, as much as possible, ensured that we complied with all our statutory requirements in terms of payment of all the statutory duties and taxes and SNIT contributions and what have you.
He said GPHA would continue to take measures to increase revenue and productivity at the port.
We will continue to pursue and put in all the necessary measures to ensure that we can increase productivity and therefore revenue.
The Deputy Finance Minister charged other SOEs to emulate the entrepreneurial tactics of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.
To the state-owned enterprises out there, I want to say that please see what the GPHA has done, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority have done. Reply to the letters that we keep writing to your good selves and come and pay your dividend.
He added that government will do all it can to support the Port Authority to thrive.
We'll be working closely with you as we've done in the past, and in spite of the challenges that we go through, to at least give you the needed support to invest.
Also, a lot of praises being showered onto the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority for paying dividends back to the state in the form of profit that they made for the year 2014, 4 million Ghana cedis, the amount was. But some are saying that this is just 4 million that, the Port Authority is being praised for. I sat down with the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to question whether this is all they could have paid to the state.
Probably looking at GPHA as a whole and what we are doing, they might say that it's not enough. But if you look at what we have used the money to do, and the fact that against all these, we have still gone ahead to contribute something into the national kitchen, that is up to the tune of 4 million Ghana cedis. That is very substantial. Because GPHA has been responsible for all our capital works, everything. We take the loans, we pay for them.
And even the loans don't have sovereign guarantee.
No. Even where they have sovereign guarantee, the sovereign guarantee is only on paper.
Yeah.
With the Minister of Finance signing, and that's the end of the story.
I see.
Yes, but we are paying 100%. For example, what we are doing in Takoradi, we took the loan of almost $200 million. And even though it's under sovereign guarantee, we started paying the interest on the loan without recourse to the Minister of Finance.
I see.
Yes, they are not even involved. We have done a whole lot of other contributions to the national system, which can be quantified in monetary terms. A lot of the state institutions, pass their cargo, of course, through the ports, and they don't pay rents. They don't pay handling charges.
I see.
Yes, and all this is revenue.
State institutions.
State institutions, the Ghana Police, the Ghana Armed Forces, Minister of Agri, the Minister of Health, and all those. Even Ghana Teachers Association.
They have cargo coming through the port.
Of course, there are cars, there are vehicles, and other things that they come in. They come to plead for those things to be waived off.
I see.
And then we do waive them off. Waiving it off does not mean the cost has not been incurred. The cost has been incurred. So we are indirectly contributing, you can call it social responsibility or financial contribution. So if we put all those together in financial terms, it will be far more than the 4 million Ghana cedis. Yeah. So what we have done is the liquid cash that we have handed over to government as part of our contribution into the consolidated fund.
And then he also mentioned and admitted that the year 2014 in itself was quite
a very stressful year.
Exactly.
A
turbulent period for the economy as well.
Yes.
How was that year for you, though?
Yeah, the year was very rough. We carried it over from 2013. The effect of the Bank of Ghana memo on the forex exchange had a lot of effect because it dampened, it slowed down, especially imports into the country. That took a lot of time to recover. So we entered into 2014 at a very low mode, and towards the middle of 2014 or even the beginning of 2014, then power came into the system, so the industries and all that. But against all these, there are certain services that we have to continue to provide. We pay our electricity bills in full to Electricity Corporation.
Even though you allow some state agencies, some waivers here and there,
yes,
you are not giving any waiver from ECG?
No, we're not giving any waiver from ECG. We're not giving any waiver from Waterworks. We pay in full. And we pay all our taxes in full, all our taxes. When we import equipment, we pay duties in full. We pay our corporate tax in full. And all that is done at times ahead of times. So because we've also adapted the International Financial Reporting System, which means that our finances will have to be up to date up to a certain level. So our audited accounts, we've got our 2014 audited accounts, completed and signed off. So everything is up to date right up to 2014. Because we need all those things to be able to convene the international community, especially when we are looking for financial assistance. That, hey, we are a company that should be looked at as commercial partners.
And maybe that's why you continue to get investment partners from private
Exactly.
Yes. But so what is working for the Port Authority that's different from a lot of other agencies? What are you doing special?
Everything's got to do with the culture of the people. The workers have to change their perception of the fact that, hey, we work to pay for ourselves. And that's the message we are trying to send out to the workforce. That we're not working for somebody to come and pay us. So the EC is to make the instruments in a way that the companies can work to pay for themselves. And then the individual staff made to understand that there's no money coming from a consolidated fund. You have got to work and pay for it. Then, of course, you now have to also take steps to ensure that you set the examples, cut down cost, make sure that misbehavior, misconduct, and other things are penalized without any mercy. Let the people understand that they're working as a commercial entity. And I think those are all the things that we got ourselves, from top to bottom embedded in, to remove the cloud of you are a state organization. So because you are a state organization, everything is easy. You can take the pickup and run around and attend your funerals and all those kind of things and do anything. No, you can't do that. We set all these standards within ourselves. We draft a corporate plan. The managers are put to task to make sure that what they have put on paper, that they perform, they deliver. And everybody is being monitored. And I think that culture alone, because the company is nothing but a human institution. It's the human beings that make the company. So it's the attitude and conduct of the human beings that can turn the company around. And of course, it has to be seen from the manager, to the worker. Yes.
A lot of people come to the port for the first time and they get a feel that this is the heartbeat of the country, and this is the only place that there is, or this is one of the only places that the country's heart is still beating. How are we going to do to ensure sustainability of this progress within the port?
I think first and foremost is to ensure that we maintain the gap, the distance between the institution and government. That's very, very important.
Why is that?
Yeah, and in other words,
because a lot of companies are suffering from this kind of your ability to separate your operations from governmental.
Yes, the government itself should give that free hand. So I think that it's more to do with government, giving free hands to these state institutions to work as a commercial entity.
Does the port have that?
Reasonably, thank God, the framers of the law, in 1986, saw the wisdom in it and kind of made the port more or less call it autonomy. That we receive the money ourselves, we keep it and use it and are accountable to that. The Auditor General. So even though we are independent, and we can do our own things, but is the Auditor General that appoints, holds accountable. And
do you think or see the authority do more? Because I heard him again, the Deputy Minister of Finance, saying that he hopes that by 2050 you're going to increase your dividend. I know also that in 2014 you procured a lot of hardware equipment here and there. Are you likely to increase the dividend going forward?
No, let's look at it this way. Dealing with the law. GPHA is expected to pump in money back into the system. Government revenue from the port is not necessarily from the dividend of GPHA.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we create the facility, the environment. That was the intention of the framers of the law, to make GPHA create the conditions upon which customs and all other actors in the maritime industry can work, through which government will get the revenue. So government's revenue, the focal point of the maritime, is to create that facility that customs can get the revenue.
And indeed, they are getting it.
From Tema
Customs
Port,
gets about 82% of
exactly.
its revenue.
That should be the critical portion of it. For customs to be able to do that, it means GPHA has to provide
the enabling
environment. We've got to make sure there's power. So we have power non-stop. Whether VRA puts power on or not, the port cannot be in darkness. If we fail to provide power, customs cannot work.
Yeah.
You understand? We've got to make sure that we have equipment. The tugboats are in operation. Without tugboat, there's no vessel coming to the port. You've got to make sure that there are efficient pilots. They've got to make sure that we have efficient, cargo handling equipment. Cranes, reach stackers, and all those sort of things. All of these make the conditions favorable so that customs can eventually be able to. Having said that, though, the past year or two, we've also spent some amount of money in doing other things, even including, 2 years ago, assisting to pay off the problem that Tamadrado had. We had to pay that off.
Which was 2 point something
Yeah,
million.
about $2.6 million. So those are the things that kind of hindered us. So we believe that depending on how far we can go, because come next year, next 2 years, we will begin to pay a lot more of our capital loan recovery, and so naturally our level of financial levels will begin to drop, because a lot of it will have to be spent back as far as interest for servicing debts and what have you. Yeah.
So as I noticed that your minister is very proud of you. The transport minister was very happy, and the finance minister himself was also very happy. But as you get all that praises coming to you, finally, what about the people, the customers who use the port? What is there for them?
Well,
as you make lots of profit and give back.
Well, I think it's just to because those customers are the people of Ghana. It's all of us. All that we're saying is that yes, through our contribution, we have been able to do something for the Port Authority, and we are contributing to the country for the schools, for the hospitals, for the public roads. That's all that we're doing.
As the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is doing well and paying back money to state, one state agency is struggling, crawling on its knees, begging for attention and asking for help.
The whole system is old and equipments are run down, and we need new technology.
We hope and pray that the system will be revamped.
We will bring you the version of the Ghana Railway Company Limited in our next edition of Iron Port. We'll return pretty shortly after the break.
I've got no need to worry. I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace. Your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
There's a place in my heart that makes me feel that you're the one. It's a place I wanna be, 'cause satisfaction guaranteed. From strength to strength you help me grow, 'cause you're there for me. And teach me how to be independent, 'cause you
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity.
Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. The Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank. Real banking, real difference.
It's here again. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is hosting the 9th General Meeting of the Canaries Africa Regional Chapter of the International Cargo Handling Coordination Association, ICHCA. Date, October 28 to 30, 2015. Venue, Hotel Royal Nick, Tema, Ghana. Major sponsors are the Canaries Africa Regional Chapter of ICHCA, ICHCA International, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and the Port of Las Palmas. Interested participants are cordially invited.
UT Logistics have come to stay. When you approach a job like the way we approach it, each job is unique. Each client is unique. We provide the best service in the system. We have best staff. We are very fast. We are quick, and we save customers a lot of money.
Welcome back from the break. Still watching Iron Port. Coming up next are news and activities happening in and around the port.
British Navy vessel has docked at the Tema port to engage their Ghanaian counterpart, the Ghana Navy, in a joint action. According to the British Navy, it is committed to collaborating with the Ghanaian Navy to combat maritime crime and enhance the safety and security at the Gulf of Guinea.
The Gulf of Guinea is a really important area, and there is a lot of criminal activity that everyone in this area has a vested interest in taking on. Maritime trade is so important, and that's why it's just great here to be here in Ghana, being able to work alongside the Ghana Navy.
The commanding officer of the HMS Lancaster, Commander Peter Lofton, indicated that they visited Ghana because they shared common bonds and trust with the Ghanaian Navy.
In the world right now, maritime security at sea, piracy, drug trafficking, human trafficking, they're challenges that both the Royal Navy face and the Ghanaian Navy face. And that's why this is so useful, this visit, because we can share our experiences.
According to him, maritime security is very crucial for both countries, and described the Ghanaian Navy as having the expertise in combating maritime crime. Personnel of both navies are expected to train together and also share ideas through conferences with regards to combating maritime crime like piracy. The vessel HMS Lancaster Navy ship has 205 crew members on board and plays variety of roles including anti-ship, anti-submarine protection, casualty evacuation and battlefield reconnaissance, and as a general utility helicopter.
The Ghanaian shipping industry has been sensitized on the International Maritime Organization guidelines on the verified gross mass of containers carrying cargo, which is expected to take effect from 1st July 2016. The IMO guideline, which is also expected to regulate safety at sea and the port, will ensure that containers are verified before they are loaded on board a vessel.
It is meant to regulate safety at sea, where containers weight actually have to be verified before they are loaded on board.
A member of the Ship Messaging Developers Group, Emmanuel Odate, says the verified gross mass of containers carrying cargo will avert instances where lives and properties are lost as a result of unverified weight. He said the verified gross mass will also ensure that the appropriate equipment is used in lifting the right containers because it's being verified and the exact weight is known.
Oftentimes there have been accidents at sea or even at the quayside. What this thing is expected to do is to ensure that the equipment used is the appropriate equipment is used in lifting the right weight of containers because it's been verified and you know exactly what the weight is.
The monitoring manager at GPHA, Samuel Aja, said very soon all frontline carriers in the port will be using data to ensure that only acceptable weights of containers are lifted.
In a few years' time, all our straddle carriers and their front end loaders will be having those data. So when they pick it, and it is beyond, there are some that when they pick it and above the acceptable weight, the engine will automatically go off.
The Ghana Community Network Services, GCNet, and the Customs Unit of the Ghana Revenue Authority have intensified their interactive forum for customers in Tema to find lasting solutions to issues affecting their work. The forum was hugely patronized by hundreds of importers, exporters, clearing agents, among others. GCNet and Customs say they are committed to enhancing the Ghana Customs management systems like the vehicle registration module for warehouse transactions, bond management, license warehouse registration, and payments to bring relief to customers.
After clearance, you do your call and you don't settle it, you are going to be blocked out. Please take note. A couple of you, do these things. When you clear the goods and you do your call, and that's it. You don't really bother again. So there's a control here.
Customs also entreated importers to provide the right information for their items in order to quicken their clearance process.
The current considerable ongoing developmental projects at the port of Takoradi is expected to position the port not only as an oil and gas hub, but also a hub for repairs of oil rigging vessels. As part of the expansion project, a floating dry dock will come on stream next year to augment the existing dry dock facility.
The oil rig repairs, and it comes in place along with a floating dry dock that is also expected to take up soon. then you realize that we will be well positioned to serve the oil and gas industry.
The floating dry dock will also make it possible for the repair of larger vessels with deeper drafts. The current state of the Takoradi dry dock has also been expanded, making it possible for 3 vessels to be attended to and repaired at the same time.
We have these 2 appendages. These are the 2 side arms. In other words, we can transfer, once the vessel is here, we can connect them and transfer them to the northern slip or to the southern slip, and this becomes the central slip. So that, in other words, we can take on 3 vessels at the same time.
The Takoradi Port Dry Dock facility is certified by the International Standard Organization, which places it ahead of other shipyards in Lomé and Abidjan.
Bringing all these crafts to dry patch is to carry out maintenance. Now, I like to emphasize that it is not always out of routine maintenance. Sometimes it could be due to an incident, due to a hole-in, due to a collision, or due to sudden leakage from the gland of the propeller. And that repair cannot be carried out whilst it is still in the water. It needs to come to dry land or to a dry facility for that maintenance work to be carried out.
Francis Kwesi-Maika, the Marine Services Manager, said the expansion works will enable more supply vessels to come into the port for routine maintenance, and the Takoradi port is more than ready for such task.
When the market picks up, that is the whole purpose. You know, we need to get to a stage where the vessels will be queued up for our services. And as we say, the way we are going about our retooling, rejuvenating our tooling and then the facilities, it will mean that the quick turnaround time will be improved. A turnaround time is when the vessel comes in until the time that she leaves the place will be reduced to the barest minimum.
He said the port has the best facilities to satisfy all such repair works for any vessel.
This over here is a grinding machine. You know, sometimes to get good finish to any other mechanical work or fabrication, you need to do some grinding. And this equipment, as it is termed, facilitates that. Now, over here, we have the drilling machine. Sometimes there is a need for you to maybe perforate the tool or the steel product or the plate. And this vertical drilling machine does that particular job perfectly.
The Takoradi Dry Dock prides itself in satisfactory professional services that has been appreciated by its clientele.
I sing about there ain't no limitations to your amazing grace, your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
Banking with transparency, commitment to integrity. The Royal Bank, the Royal Bank.
The Royal Bank, real banking, real difference.
It's here again. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is hosting the 9th General Meeting of the Canaries Africa Regional Chapter of the International Cargo Handling Coordination Association, ICCA. Date, October 28 to 30, 2015. Venue, Hotel Royal Neck, Tema, Ghana. Major sponsors are the Canaries Africa Regional Chapter of ICCA, ICCA International, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and the Port of Las Palmas. Interested participants are cordially invited.
We've all heard stories about ports, about difficulties and challenges at the port. We think that to bring transparency to the port is very important for both the end consumers and even the people, some of the agents who work within the port. This program is very, very critical, and I think everybody who is involved in the port, in businesses that has impact on the port one way or the other, should make it a point to view it.
Schedules of vessels sitting in the port, those at Anchorage, and also those expected for the coming week. Plus the Bank of Ghana approved exchange rates coming up next on your screens. you can continue to send in the comments and questions as well as queries you have all around the port activities to us via the addresses that are always scrolling beneath the screens. We'll endeavor to share them with the rest of the world. In the meantime, some of you have already sent them to us.
Emmanuel from Akweteman says, Iron Port, please, you interviewed the Customs Chief Revenue Officer the last time. Kindly find out why Customs takes so much money from importers. Emmanuel, according to the Chief Revenue Officer, Ghana's current legal instruments provide for all the charges Customs is taking on imports because the country relies on import tax as a developing country, unlike many developed countries who make revenue from domestic taxes and not import tax.
Dear Iron Port, I want to know the duty to be paid on a Toyota Yaris 2007 model with chassis number JTDBT 923X71112157 and engine capacity of 1.4. For the specific description you gave, it is 7,900 Ghana cedis, but this does not mean all Toyota Yaris will have the same duty.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Iron Port. We'll be back same time on this same platform next week, and we'll be telling you the battling and struggling story of the Ghana Railway Company Limited coming up in next week's edition. Thank you for watching the program. Also, thanks to my crew, Robert Nyanteji, Godwin Kabute, Isaac Bosu, Joe Lavo, Solomon Anderson, and Portia Abura. Also, the executive producer, Paul Asarians. Also, a special thanks to the port security for backing and protecting us where we are bringing you this edition of Iron Port. We'll see you same time next week.